being bullied, like being teased and made fun of because of my nose, but also being bullied like physically. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is the video that I said I was gonna do. Yeah, so it seemed as if a lot of you guys wanted to know more about my story of being bullied, so I was like, whatever, let me just do it. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, my name is Asemahle, and to my returning subscribers, a warm welcome to you with a red carpet. You know, I'm rolling it for you. So if you haven't, subscribe so that you can also get a red carpet welcome. As you can tell by the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about my bullied story, and I want to give a trigger warning. There will be talks of unaliving, self-harm, and a lot of like mental health and also bullying. So if you feel like this is not the type of content that you want, then feel free to click off this video and I'll definitely catch you on my next one. Yeah, so with this video I might do like 2 parts. This might be part 1, and then in a couple of days you might get part 2, because I feel like that makes a lot of sense, because I think this is going to be like a very long process, like filming and editing. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump right into this video. Let's go back to the 16th of April 2000. That was the day I was born. Yeah, so I was born, I would say a stillborn. Yeah, I'm gonna explain like why I say that. So I was born and I was not crying, I was not breathing. Basically, I even was pronounced dead. But from my mom like telling me the story, she says that in that room, the minute they were told that, okay, I am deceased, my granny, who was a prayer warrior, she started praying and praying and praying, and mom said, I think after like 7 minutes, the doctor came in and said they were able to resuscitate me, and they managed to put me in an incubator. If I can, I'll put a picture of an incubator here. So an incubator is basically for kids that are born prematurely, like me. I forgot to say I was a premature baby, hence the complications and hence me having to be in an incubator. So now they put a nasal cannula in one of my nostril and also here on my forehead, but now that I'm like growing up, this one is not that much visible. That happened, right? And I had that nasal cannula, I don't know for how long, but I was told that I was in the hospital for 3 months after I was born. So that, obviously, like, I'm still an infant. My body hasn't even fully developed to actually even be born. So the effect of having that nasal cannula up my nostril made some kind of like an arc here, like a scarring of some sort. So now like if I would look this side and like you're closer to me, you're gonna see there's like some scarring there. So that scarring basically made this nose, okay, so that scarring made this nostril a bit wider than this one. So initially my nose was supposed to be this size, right? But they put the nasal cannula here, which enlarged this side of my nostrils. So
she is, and she's a miracle baby, and she's a miracle baby because she was born 1.5 pounds, and somehow they were able to keep her alive, God bless them. And then if you notice, what happened over time is that she had different nostrils. She wasn't born this way, but to feed the babies and to make them breathe on the ventilator, a breathing tube has to be introduced. And when they had to put a big one to keep it going on the right side, over the period of a few weeks to months, slowly it enlarged the right nostril. So the right nostril became enlarged and very different than the left one.
Now that we know what happened to me, yeah. So now, fast forward a couple of years, I'm still growing up. I'm a kid. Obviously I know nothing at that age, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I lost my dad, so I still wasn't able to like comprehend what was happening. I remember my granny like picking me up and showing me my dad in like a coffin, and I was like, why is he in that coffin? Can he breathe? That was the first thing I was saying. Now looking back, now I remember my granny and the other um grannies that were sitting on that side looked at each other. At first I didn't know, but now that I'm grown, I realized, oh, okay, I said something, and they were like, oh geez. But my granny explained that how like I will never see him again. That's what she said. So yeah, you're probably like wondering like why I don't talk about my dad. Yeah, my dad passed away when I was 4 years old. I don't really have like memories of him, but I look like him. I still go to my father's family. Even the baby kid that I took was from my father's side. Yeah. But speaking of that, she went back because the kindergarten that she was in here was just like a daycare. They weren't learning, and she needs to do grade R next year. Yeah. So speaking of grade R, I went to grade R at another. Okay, grade R is basically preschool. Yeah. So it's preschool. It's basically like a class after you finish your kindergarten years. Yeah. Okay, the first time, okay, I wasn't in kinder, I was in preschool, and the first time, obviously I was still young. So the first time I realized that there like something was weird was when my cousin, he was older than me at that time, actually still is, what am I saying, but he was older than me at that time. He used to laugh, right, and have like showing gestures of like small nose, bigger nose, and all of that. But I never like understood, I didn't grasp like the magnitude of like the situation of like what he was saying. Like I would laugh along. I remember I was like five or six, so I would laugh along because I didn't know what was happening. And then fine, so at school I didn't really get any trouble from preschool, and then I went to another school that was like a mix. It was a colored school with blacks. So my mom actually like my mom wanted me to go to a school where I can speak English, and the preschool one was the one around our area, so English was not prominent. They would speak isiXhosa, like our home language. So I understand like what she meant by that, but only had she known that she was sending me to hell. I don't want to say the school was hell. I'm not gonna say that, but the kids, oh my goodness. Okay, so it started. Okay, so let's go through like the years, as in like grade 1, grade 2, and then I'll kind of like briefly explain in which grade I felt that I was bullied the most in. So grade 1, nothing really. I kind of made friends. Yeah, so I made friends. We became best friends for years, even after primary school, and like during like in between high school we would still like see each other, but we lost contact. And yeah, but yeah, so grade 2 comes, and it's a bit subtle because obviously at that age I'm 8 years old. I'm not able to read people's like body languages and all of that, so it's kind of like whatever. Kids are mean, it's fine. I understand that in life there is bullying, and yeah, but I never felt like it was directed towards me, or at least I didn't know that it was, and I didn't know that I had to fear that I would be teased, right? Okay, grade 3, this is when it started. So it started, I was like sitting like on the desk, I think I was writing or something, and then some boy came. Let me not say came because he was still in that class. Some boy came around here, and he looked at me, and then he laughed, and then he went to like get his friend just to be like, come and see. So yeah, and then the term I'm not gonna say it was him who started the term, but the term went something like this. That's how they used to say it. Even like saying it, I wanna like cry, because that sentence has been a determining factor in my life for so long that it's like, wow. But yeah, so I'll just speak in English now, because I feel like if I speak verbatim how they said it, it's gonna affect me. And I have this face beat, babe. I can't be crying. Like, we can't be doing that. Okay, so that basically started a trend where everyone would be like, the girl with like the uneven nostrils, blah 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 blah. Fine. For me, you like I'm starting to like grasp. Oh, okay. These people are saying this. What they're saying is making me like this, and it's causing me to be this type of person that is kind of like timid and doesn't want to say anything, because I don't want anyone to be looking at my nose and be like saying something that is gonna like offend me. Yeah, well, fine. Okay, now fast forward, we go to grade 4. So in grade 4, it was the same thing. In grade 4, it was the same thing in class, but something that happened that kind of like was kind of the year that kind of increased, or like, I'm gonna put that word here, my like being bullied. So it made it even more, because yeah. So I'm gonna tell you why. I'm in a bus going back home from school, and I'm playing with this girl. So this girl, we're playing, and we end up at like the back seat. Not directly at the back seat, but like in that kind of area. So there's this guy that normally he normally looks at me and laughs like when we're at school. He's older than me. So that used to intimidate me, obviously, but he wasn't in my class. So I didn't really see him like often. So yeah. So now I saw him, and he introduced me to his friend. Okay. So I say introduced because he is just introducing his friend to another bully victim, so that they can bully this person who is me together and feel like they're on top of the world. Yeah. At least that was what it seemed to me at the time. Okay. In grade 4, I'm 10. Like, I'm 10 years old. Grade 4. So fine. This guy looked at me and was like, "What's wrong with you?" And then like he laughed. Like, "Why do you have uneven nostrils?" Obviously, I'm not gonna be explaining to like a mean and scary looking guy that I don't even know, who's older than me and is being aggressive. So I just ignored that, and luckily enough, I was reaching my bus stop to like get off. So I did. Guys, please. Remember this guy that was introduced. The guy that was introduced, not the one that I told you that he was already, like the one that was introduced, because he is going to pop up again. But anyway, so I don't really remember these guys after that encounter. Like, obviously, I'm sure they did bully me and like say some stuff, but obviously trauma kind of like blocks in like the medulla oblongata, something like that. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah. So it's not, I can't really be like, okay, this day they did this, that. Yeah, it's not a matter of that. It's just I know that, okay, this person bullied me, did this, yeah. So grade 5 comes, and it's even worse. Let me not say it's even worse. It's just getting worse each and every year, because it's me understanding the situation even more. So now it's like, oh my goodness, here we go again. And it was, for me, it was not only being bullied, like being teased and made fun of because of my nose, but also being bullied like physically. There were times where, and I don't want to talk about other girls, but I'm gonna say this, there were other girls that were also bullied, like my friends, the group that I was with, like this guy would come and like slap you, like now that I'm looking at that, I realized those people were actually very miserable in their homes. And it's like some of us have grown into warm and loving homes that pray, and we have to get out and meet people like that, meet vultures like that who make our life like a living hell. But anyway, so there was this guy who said that like who made like something about me like getting into a fight because that's why my nose looks like this, getting into a fight with another girl at school, blah 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 blah. They were laughing about it. It was a blast, guys. Like they were so happy. When people are happy that they can make someone else miserable, they did that. And yeah, so I leave that school and I start another school. So grade 6, I start another school at grade 6 and grade 7. So grade 6, no one is really paying attention to me because I'm the new girl. Like no one really cares, yeah. And they just know me. This girl can run. Yeah, I used to be able to run like sprint, but life is, and you live and you forget. Now we are in grade 6 and no one is really paying attention to me because I'm the new girl, yeah. And comes grade 7, and then we got to grade 7 and there were bullies that failed and were repeating the grade. So you can just imagine bullies that are older than they're actually supposed to be, and yeah, and they failed. What a nice combination. Okay, to put Asemahle in, who has been the center of attention for people that want to bully, that people that feel like, you know what, in my life I want to be a badass bully. People that wake up and realize that, you know what, I'm gonna be the worst person God has ever made. Like that. What I can remember from grade 7 was that we were in maths class, and then this guy, the older guy, made fun of like my group and stuff, and it got to a point where he was like talking about me, and he was like, same thing, girl with like the uneven nostrils, and then another girl that I knew, I wouldn't say she was my friend, but like we did speak and we had like mutual conversations. Guys, she burst out laughing. That moment when someone says something that you've been meaning to say or meaning to ask or meaning to tease or meaning to laugh about? That was her. She laughed like nobody's business. And it kind of hurt me because it's like, damn, like even now I have to deal with this. Okay, whatever. I cried like I always did. I cried. I took my bag. My teacher, I think he asked what was wrong. I didn't answer him. Got out of the class. Because guys, even in this school, okay, I'm not gonna blame the school, but I'm not gonna blame it. Like there weren't anything about anti-bullying. We weren't even taught about that. I had to research why I was the person that I was after like being traumatized so long, why I feel like the way that I feel sometimes. Is it because I was bullied for like my entire childhood? Guys, I'm not lying when I tell you this. I told myself I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. And you know what? The most painful thing is that I never told anyone. Okay, so you're probably wondering about my friends. The friends that I would probably make, I would definitely tell them why my nose was like this. I would be like, no, I was born prematurely, and then in order for in order for me to live, they had to insert a nasal cannula and like what I just said. And then like I lived and I was a person. And yeah, so my friends did not really need to be like told, right? But it got to a point where I got tired of explaining to people. Guys, this is not easy. It's not easy for me to talk about. And yeah, so okay, like the last story that I wanna touch base on in this primary school section. So I was in the bus, right? Still in grade 7. I was in the bus and this guy made fun of me. He was not in the same school. He made fun of me and they were laughing, right? Laughing. And guys, like majority of the people that made my life like miserable were boys. Like besides that girl laughing like that, boys were literally the only people that made my life a living hell, right? So yeah, so he made fun of me. They were laughing, and I remember going home and I cried and I asked my mom. I think it was the first time. Actually, I don't think I know. It was the first time I ever said anything about like being bothered by my nose. I cried. I was like, Mom, can I please, like, I didn't know anything about plastic surgery at that time. I was like, Mom, can I please like fix my nose? And then she was like, No, I don't, like, what do you mean? Okay, she first asked, what do you mean? And I was like, I get bullied a lot about it, and it's been happening for like a while, and I thought I dodged it in that school, and I got to this school, and the school that I was in right now was predominantly white people. So you would like to think that there were like channels where people would deal with the fact that, oh jeez, I told myself I don't want to cry. You would think that there were channels to deal with things like this, because like white people always seem to like have everything accessible in their schools. So yeah, I got home, I cried, and my mom was like, no, like, what do you mean? I told her, and then she was like, you can't just tell me that. Where do you think we're gonna get the money to do plastic surgery? You see that it got me into a spiral. I could not stop crying because I was like, okay, I don't understand. I have this, I'm being bullied because of this. I'm asking my mom to change it and she's telling me we can't. So are you telling me my life is going to be like this? Only if I knew that this was nothing compared to high school. Yeah, that is it for part 1. Sorry to leave you in like a cliffhanger. I'll probably upload part 2 a couple of days after I've uploaded this one. And yeah, stay blessed, guys, and yeah, love yourself, love your neighbor, always be kind, because you don't know what other people are going through. As I was looking into like the whole aspect of like bullying, I realized that, hey, like bullying has long-term side effects. Okay, studies have shown, I'm not going to be specific on like the percentage, but studies have shown that people that were bullied back in like their childhood years are most likely to commit unaliving. They are most likely to drop out of school, which is, that never like even crossed my mind, because in my house we always, in my house my mom always instilled that education is the key to success, even though now I realize it's not really. But yeah, so it was never even something that crossed my mind. Yeah. And also, people that were bullied in their childhood have a higher chance of getting depression and anxiety. what do I always talk about, like in my vlogs, about having like anxiety attacks and stuff like that. Yo, it was like, what? Hey. But okay, let me not talk a lot because we still have part 2. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below of like nice words only, please. And yeah, I'll catch you guys with part 2. If you also have your own story that you want to tell, comment it down below. Or if you might feel comfortable with emailing me, then you can feel free to do that, because I'm thinking of, with your guys' advice, is it fine if I can like do like a series where people that have been bullied, or people that have actually bullied people, you know, to like send out their stories, and then I can read them out, and then we can just have like a conversation about that. Yeah, I'm even realizing that I actually want to do something about bullying. Like besides asking my cousins, are you being bullied, I make sure I ask my cousins. I even ask them, do you know what bullying is? Has anyone taken your food? Has anyone did this or did that to you? Like, I want to know, because I want to be there for them, and I want to go to that school if that happens. Yeah, but goodbye guys, I'll see you again with part 2. Peace.
No map, just all those stars. I never backed away.